It's Morbin time! That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. After summoning a more $1 billion, Morbius has officially morbed once again as Sony just released the film back in theaters, over 1,000 theaters, and guess what? It bombed again. So no money for this movie. Made less than $1 million, which is honestly really kind of sad and depressing at this point, but hey, Morbius, you do you. But I still haven't even seen this movie, so honestly, I can't really even judge it. But I've seen the criticisms, I've seen clips. I kind of saw it because one of my friends actually turned the whole movie into a GIF. So that was interesting to watch. But also. I've of course seen the memes, it's Morbin time, all that stuff. Even Jared Leto getting in on this, posting a video of him reading a fake script. Oh, Morbius 2, it's Morbin time. And it's hilarious. It honestly is hilarious. But, of course, at this point, the question is then, what's gonna cross the line of it's just a joke or Sony is actually serious and we're actually getting a second movie? Because that's something that we're hearing about now, is that not only is Morbius 2 possibly happening, but it will happen with an MCU crossover featuring Mahershala Ali's Blade, who, of course, that casting was announced back at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019. We know that movie is coming soon. It's going to start filming this July, and we could see Blade in Morbius 2. So, let's talk about this. First of all, this rumor is coming at us from Moth Culture, which is a source I don't report on much. I'm not really completely sure of their validity, so by no means take this as confirmation. Fully consider this just a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt, all that stuff. But they are reporting that Sony supposedly wants to try and make a deal with Marvel Studios to co-produce Marvel Studios. It would be Marvel Studios' Morbius 2, officially making Morbius part of the MCU, so that they can have Mahershala Ali's Blade in Morbius 2. And yeah, so it would be just like what they're doing with the Tom Holland MCU Spider-Man movies, where technically Sony makes the movies, and they're the ones that actually produce it, and actually send it out into the world and all that stuff. But Marvel Studios, of course, has a hand in there. They have a little bit of a guidance that they can have with these characters and with these movies. And now Sony wants Blade in their Morbius movie. So, yeah, this is interesting. Morbius 2, first of all, I don't really know what you could do with the Morbius 2 unless it was Blade, because this is personally, honestly, something I actually want to see. Again, I haven't seen Morbius, so I can't really judge it. I don't know how bad it truly was. But I do actually want to see the character of Dr. Michael Morbius, played by Jared Leto, return in the future, whether that is in a sequel or in some other Marvel Sony movie later on down the line, because it's a cool character, and like I said, there's not really much to do with him in his own story. Like, you do Morbius origin story, alright, cool, that's nice, but personally I think it should be just a one and done, just one Morbius movie, and then have the character continue in other movies. I don't think we need a Morbius 2, because even if you do want to do a team up or even a battle between Morbius and Blade, that's something that honestly would probably work better in a Blade movie, because of course that would involve Marvel Studios having more control than Sony in that situation. That's something we all want. Not only do we not want Blade to be ruined by Sony, but we also want maybe Morbius to be saved by Marvel Studios, and that's something that possibly they could figure out a way to do. And again, like I said before, this would officially make Morbius technically an MCU movie, and that's of course the question of do we want that? Do we want Morbius to be considered an MCU movie? And I haven't seen it, so I don't know how bad of a situation that would be. But I do want Morbius to be in the MCU, because there's a lot of potential with that. Not only with, of course, Spider-Man, because, Morbius is a Spider-Man villain. That's how we started off. So I would love to see him have a crossover with Tom Holland Spider-Man at some point as well. That could be something really cool to see play out in the future. But also, when it comes to Blade, you could have Morbius in a Blade movie, the first Blade movie that we're getting, or the Blade sequel, or some sort of team-up involving Blade. Speaking of MCU team-ups with Blade, we have the Midnight Suns. Now, the Midnight Suns we know is coming to the MCU. It's basically the Supernatural Avengers, the team of supernatural heroes like Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, Blade, possibly Morbius, like he is in the comics. And that would be really cool to have a Morbius as a part of that team. I think that would be a lot of fun because, again, what else are you going to do with Morbius? I mean, they did have that post-credit scene with him supposedly setting up the Sinister Six with Michael Keaton's Vulture, which is just stupid and like one of the worst post-credit scenes I've ever seen. Which I haven't seen the movie, but I saw the post-credit scene. So hopefully they kind of just ditched that idea because, you know, after that movie, they're kind of making Morbius to be a hero, or at least an anti-hero and not a villain. So why would he go be in the Sinister Six, especially to go hunt down Spider-Man, a person he's never even met before, possibly never even heard of. So that just didn't make any sense. So make him a hero, make him a part of the Midnight Suns in the MCU, and there's a lot of cool stuff that they could do with that, you know. I do want to see the Sinister Six, but I don't think Morbius really fits in with it, or any of those other plans that Sony really has. Because if we've learned anything from when Sony's been in control, it just doesn't go well, like, at all. So hopefully they can figure this out. Hopefully we can get Morbius in the MCU. Hopefully, you know, I mean, like, these memes are hilarious, but hopefully we can get Morbius back to being an actual serious character, get Morbius the living vampire in live action, get this character done justice, and have him team up / fight with Blade, team up and fight with Spider-Man, have him become a member of the Midnight Suns. This is what I want to see from this. I do not want to see Blade in a Morbius movie because that would just be a disaster right there. And again, I don't think we really need a Morbius 2. Just have this character continue in other films, like other team-up / fight films. But guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. What do you think about this possibility of not only Morbius 2 being a thing, but Sony wanting Blade, Mahershala Ali's MCU Blade, who we haven't even been technically introduced to yet, in Morbius 2? Or would you prefer my idea of having it the other way around? Have Morbius in Blade 2 and have Morbius join the MCU for the Midnight Suns and Spider-Man, do all that stuff. Let me know all your thoughts and theories and hopes and dreams for the future in the comments below. Yeah, it's Morbin time. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep it up to date on everything goes on in the Marvel life.